Also,
that was good, by the way.
You got more.
yeah.
You got more.
And it sucks
Go
that
ahead.
you have to do this because you're gonna have to do it.
Oh my god.
He's like, have a kid.
No, it's not even that. I mean, it sucks that society has kind of forced you to do this.
I'm scared.
Shit, I'm scared for you too.
Damn.
And I feel bad for it, but
We gotta say it.
you're gonna have to have the race talk
Ooh, yeah, that's a big one.
and how America actually sees black people.
Mm.
You know, and considering that this is not going to be a mixed kid,
Oh yeah, especially if my little one comes out dark skinned.
yeah,
Oh boy.
you're gonna have to have that talk. You're gonna have to have a lot of talks.
Oh.
So, I'll provide the books.
That actually has been one thing I was afraid of. I was about to say something that's gonna get my ass in trouble.
Yeah.
All right, so
Say
but,
it.
but
Say it.
See, this is why I was saying it.
I was gonna ask you a question about that, Ty, because that was interesting. I didn't think about that. Have you thought about having that conversation? Clearly, you have.
yes,
Right. Two, how'd that conversation go with your father? Because I also wonder if you guys had that conversation. It might seem weird. I had that conversation about race and police with my father at a young age, which I know a lot of white people haven't. But I was just curious about that since it ties into fatherhood.
Yeah.
Well, I'll go ahead and answer the question first, since you've been answering questions first this most majority of the episode.
Okay.
My parents actually didn't have those conversations with me. It was stuff that I have to stumble across on my own. I have to learn that from other people, learn that from school, and I had to experience it on my own. Like, one of the most traumatic experiences I ever had was just sitting at a bus stop waiting on my friend to come hang out with us. And all because I was sitting at the bus stop with a duffel bag full of clothes to spend the night at my friend's house for the weekend for too long. Some police decided to get out their car and wanted to search me and ask for my permission to search me. Me not realizing what I was getting myself into, I said yes. But after I was then placed into the cop car while they took apart my book bag and my duffel bag, I didn't realize, like, wow, these are the moments that I would never prepare for. These are the moments that I now have to prepare someone else for. And so, yeah, I do know that I have to have that talk and multiple versions of it. Like, not just dealing with police brutality, but even just identifying self-love, because there's a lot of colorism amongst the black community. People want to go for dark skins, who want to go for light skins. No one can just ever just be like, I love all skin tones. I gotta also specify that there are, certain problems amongst different races and amongst different ethnicities. And then being that I come from a mixed cultured background, and I have to make sure that this kid knows they're mixed and should be cultured, and you want to give love and respect to not only your culture but to everyone else. I know that these are the conversations I have to have. I don't know how I'm going to have them, but hopefully I can start at an early age where learning about it will be fun until it needs to get serious. Because that's how I want to start off teaching my kid. I want everything they learn throughout their first couple of years to be fun, because I feel like learning is done easiest when you're having fun with it. But then as you get older and you get more mature, you understand the world around you. That's when you bring out the more serious parts of it. So yeah, I hope that long answer answers your question.
No, that does. Thank you.
Of course.
I'm always here for support with that. I like teaching, so
Thank you.
I'm always ready.
Well, what about you, Chris? Did you ever have that conversation with your parents?
Let's see. Conversation from my parents was, don't trust the police. Always watch your six. Literally, always watch your six.
He looks at his watch. My six is
like, is that what you meant?
Yeah.
What?
Mom, it's not moving.
It's actually
go anywhere, Dad.
Nah, but always be vigilant. Always, make sure that you know what the fuck you're doing. Always check your friends. For them, the friend advice was, there's no friend in your life other than $1 in your pocket. I always tend to not agree with that one.
Yeah.
Especially because we're around here, we're a group of friends, and I'm completely different from everyone in my family. I'm that black sheep.
Beautiful one too.
Thank you.
Bitch.
But yeah, the one that definitely stuck was, don't trust the police. I always questioned why they would say that, and then I got arrested. Like, not actually, like, I guess booked and all that shit, but detained. Yeah,
detained.
These fucking cops who just detained my ass for running in Orange County.
For running?
For running. Yeah. You ever tried running in the hood? You might get shot, especially if you're male. I mean, I get it. You know, times are changing, but times aren't really changing if you're a dude in the hood and you're running and you're brown and you're a different skin tone that's not extremely light, because you're definitely associated with gang violence. Yeah. So, did we have that talk? Yeah. Don't be a gangster because of your race. You're going to get associated with these people. You're most likely to get into debt or in prison.
Yeah.
So, that was always a conversation. Death was exposed at a very early age, but they never talked about it. So, you know, I didn't learn about it. Like, from them, I had to learn about it through harder situations, which took me a really long while to process till last year, actually. So, yeah. What else? Yeah, the race thing, it's really fucking hard to deal with, especially when, you know, the authorities in this country are always going to see you as a criminal until you show your worth. And that shouldn't have to be something that you have to do.
Yeah.
You should just be out there, and as the Constitution says, guilty, I mean, innocent until proven guilty, you know?
Yeah.
So why can't we just see everything clearly like that? But they don't. So race, unfortunately, is a big factor. And my parents made sure to always tell me, like, hey, watch out for this, and this, and that. But, you know, as you mentioned also, within your own culture, there's always those people that think they're better or will discriminate you based on that. Within our culture, it's always the Hispanic cops that fuck us over more.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's true.
They fuck with us the most. Because they think they're above. And, you know, I've usually had that situation where I've had to talk shit to a cop. Especially because, you know, he thought he was better than me. And I told him too, I'm like, look, the only difference between me and you is the fact that you have a gun and a fucking badge. You ain't shit, honestly. You want to get personal and talk me down, I'll talk your ass down. I told him off and made him feel like less, but that's okay. I felt like he tried to, you know, make me feel like a fucking idiot and Hispanic, or as he would call me, because he did call me a wetback.
Wow.
Yeah. So it sucks.
It does. It does.
Well, I don't think I ever had that conversation with my parents specifically. My parents, from when I was a young age, both my brother and I remember they never really taught us about like racial differences. There was more of be kind to everybody regardless of race, regardless of religion, regardless of size, of anything like that. Like, treat people with respect all across the board.
Right.
If you're not treating people with respect, why should they treat you with respect? And it was kind of like that. And so that's kind of like how I grew up. So whenever I dealt with people who were shitty like that, it wasn't so much I took it as like it was a race thing. I took it as like, well, that person's just being a shitty person to me.
Yeah.
And I still see it that way. But growing up in the years that we've had recently, obviously it's a huge factor, and especially for the new generation coming up, like it's a conversation you gotta have.
Yeah.
It wasn't until I would think I was in second grade when I actually started learning more about segregation and you know, different race wars that have happened throughout the years. As I started learning more about that, and that's when the topic started hitting. But I guess for me, the way I looked at it is like, it's just always, I don't look at the race, I don't look at the skin, I look at just the person themselves.
Yeah.
The character. Which always, like, I'm always looking at that first. Don't care about religion or color or height or whatever. And that's what my parents taught me. I don't know if that was a bad thing or a good thing. I do use that more, character, than I do anything else. So I guess in a way it was good. But yeah, I mean, it's a tricky situation. I don't even know where to start if I were in your shoes right now, especially with the day and age that we live in now. I guess at the end of the day, the only thing I can say to teach your little one is just, I know it may seem personal, but don't take it personally. Don't take it personally, and it will make their lives just a little bit easier. I'm not going to say it's going to fix the problems.
It won't.
And there's many things to do to help fight back in a good way.
Yeah.
But just try not to take it personally.
All right.
It's not just you. It's not just them. but it takes a little bit of stress off when you don't take it personally and just keep rolling with the punches and keep standing and keep moving forward. And they can't break you. That's it. Bottom line.
Everything is going to be all right.
That's right. 3 little
Bob
birds told me
Marley.
that.
Kid.
Robert, did you go? You haven't gone yet, right?
I mean,
It's up to you, brother.
I kind of feel like this is not my thing to speak on.
Why? Right.
Can I say something, Ty?
What's up? You always want to say something.
Yeah.
If your child ends up being a part of the LGBT community, they've got an ally.
Yeah.
Are you good?
Yeah.